been southbound, I've been hellbound, riding on the midnight train. Going too fast now, think I'll slow down, standing in the pouring rain.
What's going on, guys? Tristan and Tony back with another episode of the One Hell of a Life Outdoor Podcast. It is 900,000 degrees here in Georgia, and I'm sure our guest in South Carolina is not experiencing any more favorable weather, especially as a firefighter. Today we have on Ryan Burnett. Ryan is one of the founders of Pattern Pros, which he's going to get into here in a minute, but I just think it's an absolutely phenomenal idea, because if you're a duck hunter, how many times have you been faced with the challenge of like, hey, I got a new chuck for my gun, I want to figure out what shoots best out of it, but like I don't want to spend $500 on 10 different boxes of shells, you know?
Or $75 on a choke.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not going to line up right.
So
no, these guys got a great. This is awesome.
So Ryan, man, thank you for taking the time to come on tonight, and we're excited to get into what you guys do. And we said this off air, but thank you for your service. I know you guys are Marine based, or all three of you. I got 2 or 3 of you were Marines, right?
Yeah. All 3 of us were. We were all stationed together out in San Diego area, Camp Pendleton, California.
Thank you for your service, you guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So, I guess just a little background before we get into the Pattern Pros stuff. Will you give everyone just kind of a little background and, where you're from and how you got into the outdoors and, maybe even how you got into waterfowl and all that?
Yeah. So originally from just outside of Seattle, Washington. I haven't lived there since 2009, 2010. I grew up fishing since I could walk, but no one in my family ever hunted. It just wasn't in the cards. But I always, for whatever reason, just had a desire to get out and go do it. And so my dad had a couple friends that were in Central Washington, and they were bird hunters. So I got to see that a couple times, and it was just kind of like little bits of experience. And then I got to do some more when I went to school my freshman year in Texas playing college baseball. And it was just kind of every year I was getting more and more, I was diving more and more into it. And then my last years I was at school in Ohio and did a little bit more of it. And it wasn't until I really got to my first duty station was Hawaii. I was there for
that's neat.
What a bitch. Golly, dude. Hey, listen up.
Yeah. I was there from November of 13 to I think October of 16. So right about 3 years. And then when I got to California, I really was able to get back into hunting, which was a real blessing. You can hunt on base, and
oh wow!
It's the Camp Pendleton's, I think, 128,000 acres or something like that.
Oh my gosh!
It's pretty, and most of that is training areas. So there's it's just complete wilderness, and you can hunt everything. You can hunt ducks, deer, dove, quail, rabbits, squirrels, coyote. I mean, you name it, just about. You could hunt it. And I really started to get into ducks, more so. And so my 2 buddies, Christian and Brody, that we started this company with, Christian's kids are the same ages as mine. So that's how we kind of started to become friends. And then Brody was an armorer for the unit that I was an instructor for. And I mentioned duck decoys. My brother-in-law had bought me my first set of duck decoys. And it was just literally just like in Step Brothers when it's like, did we just become best friends? I can still picture it. Like I could see him out of my corner of my eye, and he looked over at me and was like, "You can duck hunt here?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I duck hunt less than a mile from right where we're standing." And he was just like, bewildered. He's from just outside of Tulsa, Oklahoma. And he had said when he got stationed in Cali that he had like pretty much just wrote duck hunting off, like didn't have any of his stuff. Like he's like, I'll do my years and then get out. And so we started hunting a lot together. We hunted at pretty much every weekend we could.
Well, man, I want to keep going, but man, what a cool spot to be able to.
Do you want coffee that doesn't suck? Get the Duck. Dirty Duck coffee is made specifically for the waterfowl enthusiast. Enjoy flavors like Morning Wood, Dark Dynasty, Cinnamon Teal Snickerdoodle, and First Flight to unlock the flavor that you'll enjoy in the blind for years to come. Our friends at Dirty Duck Coffee Company are now offering all Zero Duck 30 followers a 15% discount when you use code ZeroDuck15 on your next order.
The hunt, because I mean, in California, I mean, you're getting a really just like nice mixed bag of, really just beautiful species, right? I mean, your pintails and, your shovelers and teal and all that good stuff.
Mallards, there's plenty of mallards out there, depending on where you're at.
It was, that's my favorite flyway. Obviously I have more experience with that than other flyways, and unfortunately South Carolina just most of the time is not phenomenal for ducks.
I would have thought you would have said South Carolina was the best duck hunting state you've lived in.
God, no, it's the worst duck hunting state.
You know why he didn't say that?
Because it's not true.
No, you want me to tell you why he didn't say that?
Because
he's not from South Carolina. If you're from South Carolina,
I said that he lived in.
Yeah, but I know, but he wasn't born there.
I think
if you're
a lot
born,
of duck hunters here, but they're fighting. It's a bit rough.
We love you, South Carolina.
It was awesome, and it kind of sucked. Is like my last season there is really when I got it. Like I got some stuff figured out. I'd found some actual public land, because prior to that I was either you can hunt on base, but you can only hunt the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'd hunt the refuges. And like one of those refuges was you can hunt Wednesdays and Saturdays. And then another one, you can hunt Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. And that one was like 3 hours away. The other one was about an hour and 20 minutes. And so I started to go to the farther one and really started to like hone in on stuff. And I mean, I was killing great pintails almost every single weekend.
Wow.
And then the thing that most people don't get to shoot is cinnamon teal.
Right.
Mm.
And I killed an absolute ton of those.
Wow.
But it was a real mixed bag. Like you didn't know what you were going to shoot. Like being that far, I mean, we were damn near in Mexico, but you would shoot widgeon, gadwall. I mean, a couple mallards here and there, shovelers, green wings. I mean, it was just everything. And so I loved it. When you go
that
to
kind of spoiled you, huh?
Oh yeah.
Well,
My brother was like, dude, you don't know what you're missing. Like, he's like, you're spoiled. Like, you don't get it.
Well,
and then if you go to like Northern California and like Central Valley, California, you'll kill a lot more mallards. But it was pretty special. And I'll go back one of these days. And it's definitely a spot to go if you want birds to mount. Like, it is just,
that's what
I don't know, something about it.
Man, that's one of those things, and forgive me, all right? Listen, I don't like California. From a lot of standpoints, but from a nature standpoint, I think it's like awesome. Hidden gem type of stuff. Not only waterfowl, but all species. I mean, from desert goat to, just there's so much cool stuff. There's a lot of stuff that can kill you there too, but
outside of two cities, the state is phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah. But I want to kind of pause here for a second. You know, you were talking about these results you had, and what we flew right past is let's dig into a little bit of what it took you to get those results. Because I know damn well it wasn't that you just, hey guys, look what I found. No, you busted your ass. So I mean, talk about what it took to go out and bust your ass on California public land to get those kind of results.
I wish I could make myself sound a little bit better.
He's like, it's that easy.
But it was.
Set it and forget it.
I became friends with a guy who had hunted that refuge for right about 40 years. So the guy, not only did he know the place.
Did you say 40?
Wow. That's like all the hunting he did pretty much for the most part was duck hunting. The guy just knew ducks.
Wow.
So
history
it was cool to spend a lot of time around him. And then the spot, that refuge is, 3 hours away, and there's literally nothing else out there. It is either during the week, it's a ghost town. It's barely a town, but it's like you're either a crackhead or you're a farmer. There was nothing. There's literally nobody else out there.
That sounds like most of South Georgia. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Georgia. I'm just kidding.
And so my last year there, I had moved my wife and kids back here to South Carolina as I was transitioning out of the Corps for the last 6 months. So I moved them back. I missed the second. I hunted the opener, and then I missed the second weekend, and then it was like every weekend after that, I was getting after it. And I was hunting.
What are the season dates out there? Like what time frame is that? Roughly.
It's like this third or fourth week of October.
Okay.
Somewhere around there is when the southern zone of California opens up. I think they've got 3 or 4 different zones. Obviously, just because the state's freaking huge.
That's the South, Tristan. That blows my mind. That's a month earlier than Midwest states.
And it goes until the last, January 31st, and then out there, the first weekend after the regular season ends is youth weekend. The following weekend after that is veterans and active duty weekend.
Yeah, that's when the beatdown. That's when the beatdown happens, bro.
We had some good hunts.
Mm-hmm.
So that was. I don't know if that. I don't remember if the veterans one, if that took hold until that last season.
Gotcha.
But we had. I had a lot of fun, and I got to take a youth out. It was one of the game warden's kids, so I'd become friends with him, and I think he was 15, 16 at the time. So I started to take him out a lot, which was cool. It was a new experience for me.
Yeah.
Actually, being more of a guide than I was still shooting, but I was trying to give him first dibs, and I was just showing him how to properly set things up and just the whole thing about waterfowl in general. So that was a really cool experience. But yeah,
how did that relationship come about? I'm just curious.
Honestly, I don't really know. I always ran into him around base.
Nice.
And we just I'd kill. You can kill in California. You can get 2 deer tags. Like that's it. And a little bit different than here. But in one of those, you can kill 1 deer on base. If you get the tag. And so I killed a deer. All 3 years, and like every year, he was always there at the game warden's office. And so you would kill your deer, and then you'd have to go check it in. And then so they'd weigh it, they'd take a little skin sample, they'd actually do some research on it, or they'd send it off, and then they had a place you would to skin it, and then they actually had walk-in fridges you could hang it for a few days.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
So yeah, it was super convenient. And
because I imagine it's not cold during that time.
No, it would get surprisingly cold there in Southern California. Like, not like frigid by any means, but as soon as you get away from the coast, even a little bit, like there was parts of base that were, inland a couple miles. And during the winter months, it could get, I've seen it down into the high 20s.
Wow.
Oh yeah, that's cold.
So it does get chilly. But typically not during bow season for that zone would start the first weekend of September. So the mornings are nice, and then it obviously gets pretty hot pretty quick.
Are you hunting muleys and whitetail, or just whitetail, or?
No, there's no whitetail in California.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Okay. I didn't know that.
They just have coos deer, right?
No, I don't actually believe there's any coos. Well, there could be. But it's mule deer, and then blacktail in California.
And that's probably up closer towards Washington, right? Like up north, blacktails.
The what? The black? No, so they're actually in central California, almost, or not even quite. Yeah. I would say about central California. So we actually hunted them a couple times. They're very similar. And it's one of those things, it's kind of like the Osceola turkeys, where there's a line in the sand that's if you are west of this, you're a mule deer. If you're east of this, you're a blacktail. And it was literally it was I-5. If you're...
Listen up, guys. Waterfowl season will be here before you know it. So book a hunt today. Williamson Outfitters offers exceptional duck hunting along Florida's Forgotten Coast, targeting redheads, bluebills, buffleheads, canvasbacks, and much, much more. Lodging and fishing packages are also available. Mention the One Hell of a Life podcast when booking and get 15% off your next trip. Spots are filling up fast, so call or text Captain Chris at 850-251-8650 or visit floridaducks.com.
West of, I can't remember which one, whatever.
Probably I-4 or something like that.
Yeah. And it's you're this, and but I definitely, you could see some differences, and there was they had a couple actual subspecies of mule deer. There's there's three of them in California. I didn't know this either.
Jeez. Oh wait, I might know. Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna let you say.
Have a coastal mule deer, which is just a smaller. Everything about it is smaller, and then they had a California mule deer. Which is in between that and a regular mule deer, and you could actually see the differences in the tail.
Interesting.
And then they had the Rocky Mountain mule deer, the actual. When you think of mule deer, that's that's what it is. There are some absolute monster mule deer in California. They're huge.
That's that's kind of interesting because we always talk about with whitetail, how whitetails look so different in different parts of the United States, and it's got to be subspecies. I've just never heard anybody talk about it like that.
I hadn't either. It was really interesting. That was a cool experience. But I got I bow hunted a lot out there. It's all spot and stock, so it's way different. Than sitting in a tree stand.
Yeah.
Which I miss a lot.
I bet.
But yeah, man. So California we had a lot of fun there, and all three of us, we talk about it. It's we miss a lot of aspects of that kind of stuff.
So, at what point did kind of the rumblings of this, Pattern Pros, page and, business come about? Because it's the number one thing they talk about in business is find the need and serve the need. Yep. So y'all did that. And I really think you got I don't know. I mean,
Tell the story.
I don't know how long you guys have been around, but I just saw a post from a different podcast I follow like a couple weeks ago, and that was the first time I had seen you guys, and I'm like, wow, they're onto something.
Yeah, dude. No, this is like what do you call it? The girls get, they get like a little, it's called the Itsy bag or what? Yeah, something like that. I saw that and I was like,
Itsy bag of shotgun shells.
Yeah, you get the little Itsy bag of shotgun shells. I'm like, dude, these guys are, Tristan said, dude, we're going to get these guys on the podcast. I was like, hell yeah, dude, this is a great idea. So yeah, talk about the birth of this and how it got started.
Well, first you got 3 Marines together who may not be the brightest, but we like to shoot shit. So that's the foundation.
Yep. And beer.
Yeah, obviously. And it started, I want to say it was October-ish of 22.
Okay.
And so all of us are out. And Brody's a perfectionist. Like, he wants to absolutely hone his craft. And duck hunting is his, like, he deer hunts a little bit. He really likes to turkey hunt, but like duck hunting, like that is what that guy does. That's all, like, that is his thing. And he calls me, he's like, dude, I bought this new gun. I got a different couple boxes of shells. I went and patterned them, and he's like, they sucked. Like, and he was just, I could hear it in his voice. He's just frustrated.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, let's figure out a way to improve that and actually like have a solution. And I don't remember which one of us said it. It was like, dude, like, what if we had more than one kind of shell in a single box? And it was like, I feel like we both kind of had that like light bulb go off at the same time. And it was like, all right, I think we're on that. I was like, is there anything like that? And he's like, I don't know. And so I talked to friends, I talked to family. He did the same thing. I think, seriously, I called him, I think the next night. I was like, dude, we're freaking doing this. And he was like, all right. So we brought in Christian. Christian works as a safety guy for a big construction company. They're in Florida now.
Okay.
And so he's our guy to make sure we don't get sued. And it was just kind of started bouncing ideas off each other. I was like, well, how are we going to do this? How are we going to do this? And it was a lot more work. It's been a lot more work than I ever anticipated, which is probably naive.
Let me stop you real quick before you, because I'll continue going on. But where my brain goes is just like, how do you resell something that's, 8, 10, 7, I don't even know how many different types of shells, that's one of the things that I immediately think of. And
well, not only that, but what he's kind of talking about from the legal standpoint is, dude, you're dealing with 50 states, 50 different laws. And if you're from communist Illinois, I mean, you're just like, I guarantee it's probably the top state you don't want to do business with. But anyway, no, from that standpoint, even so, continue, please, because
I mean,
that seems complicated.
There's some states that you flat out just can't ship to. As far as I'm tracking, I know like there's some that you can ship to, but you have to ship to an FFL. And so there's we had to do quite a bit of research, and that kind of stuff fell more on Christian. We talked to the ATF multiple times, like what kind of, like, because there's no FFL required to just to sell ammo. There's no FFL.
Now, when you say FFL, what does that stand for? This might be a dumb question, but
it's a drunk person trying to say Florida.
Yeah.
Was it Federal Firearms License or?
Okay.
I could be screwing that up.
It's a national
It's a license.
Jamie, can you help us out?
Yeah, like Rogan.
And it was like, all right, we're good there. And then we kind of started talking to some ammo companies. And it was like, I mean, you bought the product, so it's like technically it's yours now.
Okay.
And the thing was, we can't use their likeness, in order to make profit. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, okay. So it was like, all right, well, now we created our own box. So we're not just throwing in a cardboard box. It is, we actually have our own logo and design, and then we essentially took like warning labels from other shotgun, that they're all on the side of shotgun shell boxes, and we're like, well, we'll slap that on there, and it was like, all right, well, like, we're good.
Yeah, no, y'all's design looks good too. I just saw it.
No, the packaging.
Yeah.
It's great.
Brody's done a phenomenal job. He's done all.
Shout out to Brody, perfectionist. You did good, bud.
It was, so we've gone through a few logos, and I've loved all of them, to be honest. I'm pretty simple minded. But so what we landed on was 8 different shells with 3 of each shell in a single box. So that's giving you 24 shells.
Nice.
And we have 12 gauge and 20 gauge. And so we actually just expanded to get ready for the Delta Waterfowl show.
Awesome. So y'all are going to be there?
Anybody's going, say again?
That's great that y'all are going to be there.
I'm ready to be there already.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
388.
388, okay. Have side note, like, I want you to keep continuing the story, but have any of you guys been to the Delta show before?
Brody, I think, has been there the last 2 years.
Okay.
And he's been phenomenal.
Yes.
Dude, we're so bummed out we can't make it
No,
this year.
dude, I'm so sick about it.
We had an absolute blast last year, but y'all are in for a great time, but that's all I wanted to all I wanted to say.
Yeah. So
it's I'm excited for it. So we just expanded. So now with that expansion, it's still 12, just 12 and 20 gauge. We're looking to expand again, probably with 28 gauge, just because that's really seeing a resurgence. But so for each one of those, we have pattern pack 1 and pattern pack 2. So there's 8 different types of shell in each one of those, and then it's shot size 2 and then shot size 3. For pack 1 and pack 2.
Okay.
So giving you a bunch of different options.
Okay.
And
obviously
these are all 3-inch shells.
Yes.
Yeah.
So obviously, like, there's like some stacks, like there's like Migra in there, and I think there's a Boss 3.5 in there. So that, there's the Kent Plus. So it's not all like perfectly like these are all 2s and these are all 3s. But generally that's what it is. And then what one of the other things that is actually completely new is we saw a lot of people asking for shot size 4. So we added a pack 3 now that's shot size 4 for 12 gauge and 20 gauge. And then I think one of the things that we're most excited about is our premium box. So with the absolute, not resurgence, but like bismuth has become such a huge part of waterfowl. Really, I feel like really in the last few years, it has become insanely popular. For good reason. So we added the premium box, which is they're all bismuth loads, except for I think one of the heavy shots in there it's got some tungsten in it. And
can you name us, like, is it a random set, or do you guys have like ones that you have based on your experience said these are the ones that we want to send y'all? Are you allowed to say like who they are, which ones you get in the box? So give us an example.
All right. So for here's our 20 gauge waterfowl premium pack.
Okay.
Boss War Chief, Federal Premium Bismuth, Kent Bismuth, Heavy Extreme, Heavy Bismuth, Winchester Bismuth, the Heavy 12, and then the Migra Timber.
Wow.
Dude, what else do you need? I mean, seriously. I'm being dead serious right now.
No, honestly, I mean,
those are all phenomenal.
Yeah, you're covering all your bases, and I mean, you're gonna leave out. Really, what you're doing is conducting an experiment, and once you do that, you're going to know exactly what shoots the best out of your gun.
Well, no, what he's going to have is a lot of data, right, based on customer experience. That is recorded. That isn't necessarily recorded right now.
No, and it's the more feedback we get, it's on like it doesn't necessarily do us really any good. It's cool to have, but it's like for me, and what I've had conversations with every single one of these ammo companies.
Yep.
I was like, we are not going to push one product, one brand more than any other. All we want is for hunters to go to the field with the absolute best tool they possibly can.
Well,
and there are so many different shells with so many different chokes and so many different guns that they all interact differently. They all are going to shoot differently. Yeah. And you'll see it over a million different every single Facebook group. Hey, what's the best shell? This gun, this choke, and then you're going to get a million different answers.
Yeah,
well,
100%. Yeah,
this is going to save you money. Right off the rip, because you get to try out 8, and it's going to cost you $300+ or whatever, something like that, to go buy 8 different boxes of shells and try them out.
Go ahead, Tristan. I'm
well,
sorry.
what I was going to say real quick, and kind of to your point, Ryan, you kind of hit the nail on the head of what I was going to say is just like, there's so many different, at the end of the day, these are all good companies.
Yeah.
The shells are all reputable companies.
Proven.
So like you said, it's like, it's more about the type of shotgun you're shooting and the choke, because depending on that, it's going to vary so much.
Dude, if you haven't cleaned your barrel, it's going to make a difference, bro. I mean, there's so many factors. Have you shimmed your gun? I mean, there's so many different things. And you guys are absolutely right, bro.
So for us, we're just trying to give people the knowledge that is going to allow them to be more successful. So the 2 biggest things that are going to come out of it with you buying all these packs, or hell, just even patterning your gun.
Yeah. 1,
you are going to kill more birds, because immediately you're going to have a better product. You're actually going to be, you won't necessarily, your skills aren't going to be any better, but immediately you'll actually have a higher quality pattern. So 1, you kill more birds. 2, and our biggest goal is the conservation aspect, is now you're crippling less birds.
Yes.
That's a good point.
And if you
Great
are
point.
a halfway decent duck hunter, you hate crippled birds and losing them.
Mm-hmm.
And Delta had put out a study a few years back, where I think the more recent one was, I want to say it was like 1.2 million ducks are crippled every year.
Holy smoke.
Oh my gosh.
So everybody complains about, hey, duck numbers are down. Well, 1.2 million ducks is that's a lot.
That's
You're
insane.
never going to get rid of every single crippled. It's not going to happen.
Dude, I want to unpack this.
Well,
this is a very important topic, I think, that you're hitting on.
Think about that. There's like 950,000 duck stamps or whatever sold last year. That's like putting a duck and a half, a duck and a, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's getting a duck in their hand and saying, here you go. Every single duck hunter across the United States based on those numbers, which is just.
That's actually probably a low estimation.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's low. Because right now in my head, I'm not a mathematician, but if we got 1 million duck stamps sold, I know for a fact that I could easily say that the average duck hunter that just goes out, and let's just say if the average duck hunter shot 12 ducks a year, okay, I'm going to keep it on the, because really, that's pretty good if you're just an average, average duck hunter, especially in Georgia, and South Carolina. No, I'm just kidding. No, but seriously, so, dude, I know for a fact that if I did that, there's probably 1 or 2. Let's just say 2. Say 2 that I think that I shot, that I didn't get, that I saw go down in a year, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's 2 million crippled ducks. right there, dude. So this is blowing my mind right
that's
now.
Probably, like you said, that's
a very conservative number, dude. This is cool. This is great. This is getting better the more this podcast goes on.
How many of those ducks were crippled due to you not having pattern your gun and understanding what your shot is actually going to do once it leaves the barrel?
Right.
And my thing is, I'm like, I think we could, if we got every freaking duck hunter to pattern their gun and truly understand what's happening. I'm like, you know what? I truly believe that we could easily decrease that by 10%.
Yeah, no, I think that's
120,000 ducks that are no longer crippled.
Yeah.
So now you are putting that many more ducks back into the breeding population.
Yeah. That's
what do we
crazy.
all of us want is more freaking ducks. All three of us had young kids. We all want them to have a better duck hunting future than we've ever had. So it's like, it's such a small, I'm like, it's such a small, like, ask to go do. It's not even an ask. You just get to go shoot, go with it, take a buddy, go freaking shoot your shotgun for an hour and a half or whatever it'll take you, less than that. And you don't have to do it like I've done it and count every single freaking BB in the target. Just you can eyeball it. You can eyeball it pretty good. And then maybe you get down to your top 2 or 3, and then maybe you count a little bit more. But so it also is going to allow the kind of like byproduct is it's going to allow you to find your best shell. All right, that one pattern's best, but you're also going to have a second, third, fourth best. You're like, if I, for whatever reason, can't find that shell, chances are I'll be able to find one of those other ones.
Yeah.
So now you're either going to be able to have validity in your choice to buy a more expensive shell because you're like, hey, this shoots a lot better. Now I will actually be shooting less. And Brody did this last year. He keeps all his own stats. He bought a
dude. I can't wait to meet Brody because he and I are, dude. Why do you think my name's HD Duck Hunter?
Yeah. We started calling.
He bought a more expensive shell, but shot less and killed more ducks. Okay, so you're saving money. You're shooting less.
Yeah.
You're killing more birds. That's what all of us are striving to do. Is spend less money. So our regular box that is mostly steel with a couple bismuth or heavy shot loads sprinkled in there is $59.99.
Okay.
In order to buy one box of some of these bismuth shells, it's $60.
Yep.
Right.
So you're 8 right there. For the premium box, it's $74.99. Again, you're still saving a ton of money if you're actually trying to hone your craft.
Dude, easily. Somebody's spending easily. If you buy 3 of those brands, the cheapest one you said, I won't say who they are, you're looking at $35 to $39 a box, times 3, $120.
Yep.
And that's just for 3.
Yeah, that's just 3 boxes. If that's all you were going to get, this is a no-brainer, folks. I mean, seriously.
And I think real quick, Ryan, like, I think you guys, not to get too, like, obviously you don't want to come out and just, like.
It's in the teens that morning, and maybe you're chasing ducks or geese. But now it's September, and it's 85 degrees, and you're hunting early teal or geese. As a waterfowler, you need dependable weather protection that will not break the bank. Founded in 1996, Frog Togs is not only the leader in breathable wader technology, but a company you can depend on to keep you warm and dry, head to toe, no matter your hunting environment. Stay bone dry by using discount code ZD315 for 15% off not only your first purchase, like most discount codes, but how about every single purchase you make from now until December 31st, 2024?
Like, claim something like this, but it's kind of, I mean, there's a lot of validity in the conservation argument that you guys are bringing up, and I mean, it's valid if you just think about it logically, and I think that's pretty neat that you guys can hang your hat on, like, to your point about all having young kids, like you guys are outside of just providing a solution for hunters, you guys are actually doing something that you can feel good about as a hunter and a conservationist when you're, old and can't hunt anymore,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I'm mind blown about that. I did not expect to get into this in this podcast. I got to tell you guys, I'm serious. This is a big thing. And I mean, I might be over the top, but this is striking a chord on me pretty heavy. And I don't hear people, yes, I mean, you will hear shotgun shell manufacturers talk about their stuff being better, less crippled birds, that kind of thing. But we all know it comes down to the shooter, the practice, all that stuff. But
well, one thing that came to my mind, just all of us were talking about archery earlier, right? And like, me and my dad have always had like a rule, just going back to like his stepdad that got him into hunting. Like, if you can go out there, and this is being very, very conservative, if you can hit a dinner plate, every single time when you go out there to pull back on a deer, that's the vitals, and as archers, you can go pull your arrow, and shoot 1,000 arrows before the season comes around. And I think the barrier to entry for shotgun shells is the cost, which you guys are solving that barrier to figure out what's the most effective. You know what I mean? Because with archery, it's like you can just reuse the arrow. And then with you guys, it's like you're saving so much money that it's really giving the average hunter a lot more accessibility to figure out what's like the most lethal.
And what I love, ultimately, when you put all this together, it comes into something that I love to say. Shoot him in the face. Dude, I love saying shoot him in the face.
Well,
I think it's great.
essentially
And
it's
I
what
think
you're
that
doing,
these guys really shoot him in the face.
Yeah.
And I love you guys for that. No, I think it's a big deal. And I don't want to play idea guy here, but I mean, if you guys can't get a bandwagon of Department of Conservation from every single state that you guys are impacting, I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys, seriously, here's something I just wanted to unpack about this. And imagine this. Imagine if we took 10 people out, right? We took 10 people and we recorded every shot they took, recorded every cripple they took, all that stuff, right? We recorded the data, the shotgun shell they used, all that stuff, everything. You can take that data and then do something with it, right? You can look and analyze those numbers. Unfortunately, there's no way that's ever going to happen with waterfowl hunters. They're never going to tell you how many they shot. They're never going to tell you how many they crippled because it's an ego thing. You don't want to, not an ego thing. It's just, you don't want to admit. Like, I've never ever go around telling people about a deer I wanted. Mm-hmm. So you don't want, because you feel bad for the animal and you want to take that animal, and it also makes it sound like you're a bad shot. All right. So you can't record all this data. But if you can't take those little numbers I was talking about earlier, about 12 ducks a year, 2 cripples per year. If we can, and let's just say 750,000 of those are actually duck hunters and not stamp buyers.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, we're still
people like me.
We're still
that
at $1.5 million.
That are dumb that had to buy 2 seasons ago because I kept forgetting to bring mine to Arkansas.
Well, Hunter's dumb like you too, but you got. I mean, this is, you guys. This is great. Mm-hmm. This is so good. I can't wait to see the public support from the state organizations for what you guys are doing.
So it's been super cool so far. Just with the getting reactions such as you guys, so it's been really cool. We actually have gotten some recognition from Ducks Unlimited. They put us in their 7 new pieces of gear to look out for the year.
Great.
Heck yeah.
And then Delta Waterfowl wrote an article on us that was on their website, and that is actually now in the current issue of their magazine.
Wow.
Hold on. All right. Well, what page?
I want to say 28 or 38. It's the shotgunning section. If you go to the index, it'll say
Here,
shotgunning.
let me look at it, blind guy.
I have to put my readers on, so
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that right now.
Let me do it with my young
No,
eyes.
we just haven't. We're big supporters of Delta Waterfowl. Delta Waterfowl, we love you.
And Ducks Unlimited too.
And Ducks Unlimited, of course, all organizations. But we happen to have the magazine sitting right here. It just came in.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, so Tristan's just going to pull it up, and since we're videoing on the camera.
Yeah, I hope the camera isn't dead, but let's see here.
Oh, yeah, we're burning.
Y'all talk about something while I'm.
Isn't it frustrating? When you actually hold a piece of paper magazine, you want to hit the search button on Adobe Acrobat.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to find the index.
So then NWTF actually wrote an article as well on us, because that's in there. That's on their website. That'll be in their magazine in January, February timeframe.
So you guys are doing this for turkey loads?
So we did it for turkey as well.
Hell yeah.
So that came back out in February, right before the NWTF Expo, which we went to and just walk around. We just got down there for a day. And that's actually was unbelievably beneficial for us. We talked with every ammo manufacturer out there pretty much. And they were all 1,000% on board. Like, this is awesome. So we have working relationships with all of them now. And like I said, I told all of them, I said, we are not going to push one brand more than another. Like, just want them to actually have the best tool possible.
Give our customers the best options.
And they were like, yeah, no, absolutely. It's awesome. So
I did find it. So if you don't mind, I'd love to just read this real quick. I think this is awesome. All right. So page 28 on the shotgunning section of the new Delta Waterfowl magazine says Pattern Pros helps you find your perfect shot shell. Every box is an 8-brand sampler pack of ammo. Aside from a good retriever, this is what the article says, the little snippet. Aside from a good retriever, testing to find the right load for your shotgun is the best way to prevent unrecovered ducks. But testing gets pricey with today's best shells. What if it didn't have to be that way? That's the concept behind Pattern Pros. Founded in January of 2022, the veteran-owned company can help dial in your duck gun for a lot less. Their service is pretty simple. Co-owners Brody Hensley, Christian Santiago, and Ryan Burnett select 8 brands of shot shells that they've determined to be commonly available, strong performers, and by surveying the waterfowling community, highly popular. They then combine the 3 shells from each brand's box into a kit and ship it to your door or a nearby store. With their kit, you can test 8 brands of shells at 20, 30, and 40 yards for a fraction of what you'd pay for full boxes. Pattern Pros offers 3 8-brand kits, 2 in 12 gauge and 1 in 20 gauge. I know we covered some of this. Both available in number 2, 3, and 4 shot. Pattern Pro plans to add new shot sizes, materials such as bismuth, and gauges soon. That is freaking awesome.
Heck yeah, dude.
Congrats to you guys. That's so cool.
Yeah, man. That's dude. I feel like we're like on America's Got Talent right now. Seriously, I'm like,
well, and
boom, hit the button right now.
To be honest, man, like Ryan, I'm thankful you reached out, man, because a lot of times me and my dad are always like kind of scanning social media and looking for new things to have on the podcast. And you happen to reach out, which, I mean, thank you, because I'm glad you did.
As soon as you sent that text to me, I looked at it and I was like, this is good. Now, I didn't know it was great. I didn't know it was great. And now, because of the whole less crippled thing is gigantic. Dude, I wish, man, you guys, I'm jealous. I'm just kidding.
No, dude, it like I said, it's been so cool so far. And it's really been, I said it before, but it's been super eye-opening. The test that I've got to do some. Brody's done a huge bunch of our testing, and the amount of not discrepancies, but like differences that you see from shell to shell is, even at 20 yards, which every duck hunter says, like, that's your chip shot. even at 20 yards, you will see differences. And it becomes pretty astonishing about those differences. And then you really start to see it at 30 and 40 yards. I don't think a lot of people understand, 40 yards is pretty long ways, especially if you're shooting at a duck that's hauling ass. That is not, that's not a close distance necessarily.
No.
So really, once you start to put things on paper, you really start to understand what's happening. And so one of the things that we have on the website is we actually have full-size patterning targets. So it's a box of 25 targets, and they're 36-inch by 36-inch brown craft paper. So you actually, because I don't know if there's any other patterning targets that are that size out there. So many guys they shoot, and they'll shoot something small, so it's you have an idea, but you're just not getting your full picture. And some people are, well, does it matter? Well, it's you're not always just shooting at one duck. It's not just a single that's coming in every single time.
Right.
So, hey, you're hey, I can only kill one more bird. All right. It's good to understand what's happening with your pattern. Hey, I can only shoot one pintail, and there's another one that's, somewhat close by. It's another tool for your toolbox.
Yeah.
So, and the thing that Brody had done with our targets is, so we have 24 shells in the box. We have a 25th target in there. So the idea behind that is take your duck hunting gun, and with your choke in it, and there's a black 1-inch dot that is in roughly the center of that target. Forgive us if it's a little off. It is hand stamped. So you're gonna aim for that, and then you are gonna see where your point of impact is, because your point of aim and point of impact aren't always going to be dead center. With my duck hunt, it's a little bit to the left. So now you have that understanding of your point of aim, point of impact. So
or
that
shim.
Black dot. So you shoot. Yes. So if you can shim it, great. So you just take a light load or your current duck load, whatever it is, shoot it. And now you understand, hey, this is where I'm at. So now the idea is you don't draw a circle prior to your shot. Your circle is going to be drawn roughly in the most dense part of your pattern. And
do you go for a pellet count at all? I mean, I know some guys that do that, and I'm just asking that innocently.
Well, he was saying he does both, I think, right?
Oh, okay.
I've sat there and straight up counted.
Okay.
And if you really want to get down to the nitty gritty, then
Brody does.
Yeah,
Brody does. Yes, absolutely. So
I knew it.
And I was about to give him another praise. And I can't wait to beat his ass here in a few weeks.
What a Marine response! I love
it. And I somehow hope he just doesn't hear this, so that way he knows that, I'm not giving him too much praise. So he created this thing called a CAD, with CAD, which just stands for Circle Assist Device, and it's literally a rubber 3D printed material, or a 15-inch long string essentially, but it has four little quarter-inch circles in it. And so you take your finger, and the center one, you find the most dense part of your pattern, and then you take your Sharpie and you put it in that first one, in that first hole, and then you draw a circle. So that's going to give you a 10-inch circle. The next one's
like a protractor or something.
Yeah, exactly. Then you're going to get a 20-inch and then a 30-inch circle. So it's allowing you to see how dense and how accurate that pattern that pattern is. So it's just, again, further breaking down what your pattern is truly looking like as it flies through the air. And people say, well, yeah, like that's just, you're just shooting paper. It's not shooting ducks. I'm like, yeah, but that's the best tool I can take to the field with that knowledge. Yeah. Now, some shells are going to be more effective at killing. Doesn't always necessarily mean the pattern. I don't know. I can't tell you the science behind it.
No, dude, let's just cut to the chase. If you got a pattern like that, I don't give a crap if you got paper spitballs. All right, you're gonna knock a duck down. I mean, seriously. I mean, if I take the cheapest load I can think of right now, and if you got a density of pellets like that, dude, I mean, you're knocking the duck down.
They're a lot better. Yes.
Yeah.
So Christian always catches hell from us, in all aspects. I'll give you a couple stories about him after I rain on his parade a little bit more first. So he bought this brand new Winchester SX 420 gauge back in, I think, right around Christmas time. He came to my house in January, and we were going to hunt in Arkansas with some buddies from the Off the X podcast in Arkansas for I think 4 or 5 days. So he came and he was gonna pattern his gun, and he decided he wanted to whatever he wanted to shoot at 25 yards. That's just whatever he wanted to do. So all right, we'll send it. So we were on my tripod, so he had a nice even stable platform. And he shoots, and we walk up to it, and I was like, dude, that shell freaking sucks. And switch out to another one. Well, wait a minute, that one sucked. And we went through 5 or 6 different shells, and they were all atrocious. Like Tristan, I'll text you a picture of them because I still have them. I will be bringing them with me.
In the outdoors, every detail counts. See sharper, aim clearer. From the river's edge to the heart of the flooded timber, Hook and Bullet has your vision covered. Hook and Bullet's purpose-built optics are flawlessly crafted to give you an edge regardless of your outdoor pursuit. Use code ZeroDuck30 for 15% off a pair of Hook and Bullet sunglasses today.
To the Delta show, I held on to them because they were that bad to show you, to show people that if you don't know what's happening, you could utterly be wasting your time, effort, and money if you don't have that knowledge going into the hunt. And it was like, I was like, dude, I guarantee you somebody has this exact same setup. They bought this nice gun. It's got the factory modified in there, and they got it for Christmas, and they took it hunting the next morning. And I was like, I guarantee it was terrible. It was probably terrible. Had to be terrible.
Yeah, your buddies are making fun of you.
Yeah. He's like, dude, I suck. And it's like, well, you might suck, but you don't suck quite that bad.
Not as bad as your pattern is.
And you would have had to been within 15 yards to kill something.
Wow. And
because at 25, it would have been a crapshoot of killing actually what you're shooting at.
Oh my gosh.
So now that I praised Brody, I'll give Christian shit. So Christian's caught some hell. That's always done with good fun. So like when we were down in Oklahoma a year and a half ago at Brody's house, he dropped us off. He couldn't hunt that day. He didn't have a babysitter for the kids. So he dropped me and Christian off. So we hunted all day. It was great. We killed one duck at shooting light, and that was it. And Christian was kind of sick, so he was fine when we were sitting there. Anytime we were walking, like we'd get up and go for a walk, he would start to struggle. And so Brody comes and picks us up at dark. We have to walk like half a mile, so nothing crazy far, but he is dead by the time we get to the truck. And so we get back to Brody's house. He goes straight to the shower. Well, Christian, throughout the years, has dumped cold water on me in the shower. The first time with the aid of my wife, which they both thought was hilarious. And like the last time he had done it, he had picked the lock at his house and done it. And so I looked at Brody. I was like, I'm getting him back. And so I fill up like a big bowl of water. I put ice cubes in it. I was like, this is going to be bad for him. And I'm like, naturally, Brody, I was like, you're going to film it. So I pull the curtain back, and I don't see him for a split second. And then I realize he's almost in the fetal position, like underneath the shower. And I almost felt bad for a second. And I dumped that on him, and it was just, oh, please, God, no. And like I could hear his voice. Like I was like, are you okay? Like, is it that bad? And he was pretty rough. He actually ended up having he had COVID, I think. But either way, just like felt like absolute crap. Like didn't hunt with us the next day. But yeah, I got him good.
Well, hopefully you set the standard. Like, yeah, don't do that to me ever again.
Oh no, I'm sure. No. We are like when all three of us together, we're not safe. You're not safe at any moment from any kind of, pretty much sexual harassment.
So y'all are like,
what do we call that in the military? We call that hazing, right?
Y'all are like
haze away.
Y'all are like jackass. Is what you guys are.
No, exactly. I think I said that to somebody the other day. I'm like, dude, like, you're just not safe. Like, you're gonna be assaulted in some way or form. Like, it's like. It's pretty bad.
You know what?
I mean, it's pretty funny. But
dude, I was just sitting here thinking, all right, from a business standpoint, if I am any of these manufacturers that you named off, and I am their head of marketing, I feel like what you guys have created is a contest.
Yeah, but it's
in between,
so different, though.
No. From a endorsement standpoint. All right, and where I'm going with this is if I really believe that my product is the best shotgun shell on the market, right? Just like, let's say, let's just kind of use an analogy with Matthews with the bows, okay? Or let's take PSE or any of the big, well-known quality manufacturers of bows, right?
Yep.
If I'm in this pool with my competitors, I want to beat them to market. All right. I want to prove that we are the best. Now, we already talked about there's no way to gather data to produce that, right? But what there is that there will be discussions amongst duck hunters all across America doing this that are going to find a commonality with a certain few, certain combinations, whether that's a gun, choke.
Well, really, what you'd be comparing is arrow manufacturers.
Yeah.
Not Matthews.
I was just using that as
versus shotgun shells.
Well, the reason why I named those folks off is that they're very good and they dump a lot of money into their marketing. Okay. And that's part of why they're so good. I mean, they're very good at it. And we have a lot of shotgun shell manufacturers that you just named off that are very good at marketing their products. And I'm sitting here with, 30 plus years of sales and marketing experience sitting here going, dude, if I'm in that group, you guys are creating something that I think what you're going to find long-term is that some of these guys are going to be jockeying for spots. Now, there's no way to continually prove it other than duck hunter talk.
Right, because y'all already said from the get-go you're not going to push any companies. So
exactly. I just think it's a byproduct.
It's going to be on the duck hunter forums.
Yes. Yes, and dude, give it time for that to extrapolate, or is that the right word I'm looking for? Expand. Give that time for that to work through the system of duck hunters, and there's going to be some commonalities that come out there. It's no different than Dude, I shoot a Jeb's choke, and I shoot them with the Winchester shells, and I'll tell you, you kill them every time.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it is going to be, all right? But here's what I want the average duck hunter to understand about what we're talking about tonight. Look, guys and gals, if somebody comes to you and says, and I'm just going to pick one first off my mind. Let's just say Boss, and they give you a 3-5 combo, and your buddy tells you about shooting the 3-5 combo, and they just eliminate ducks all the time. All right, what are you shooting? That's your next question. What gun are you shooting? What choke are you shooting? All that. You can literally take that exact same setup as a different hunter and not have the same results. Am I right about that?
Yep. They are, like, seriously, like, people will ask, hey, like, what typical shoots best? I can't give you the answer. Like,
yes,
they all shoot differently. You can take the same gun and put them side by side, and somehow, like, they're going to shoot different.
Yeah.
And
it depends how dirty your gun is, how dirty your choke is, how clean it is.
I mean,
some
honestly,
of it goes all the
probably
way back to when it was manufactured. Is like there are certain tolerances within that gun. So like it
or inconsistent tolerances.
The wind, humidity, like elevation. I'm sure all that shit has to do with it, you know.
So there are so many things that go into it. That's just like you can't, and you just don't know until you go shoot it, and it may not be the most expensive shell. It could be the cheap. Like we had a buddy, cheapest shell in the box, shot best for him.
Yep.
Like okay, like it was like I think it was like Remington High Speed, shot best for him, and like all right, cool, good to go. I shot
one of our best friends.
I shot Winchester Super X for years, and it always seemed to kind of work for me. But this, prior to starting this, and then I started to, I started to obviously pattern stuff, and the Winchester Super X still shoots just fine for me. Like especially like at 30 yards, and I like them in my face. I'm not taking. Obviously, just like every duck, I try not to take long shots. Like, obviously, shit happens, but I like them up close and personal. 30 yards, I know with that shell, like in my setup, I'm good.
Yeah.
And like they just all shoot different, and it's so cool to see the differences with all of these shells. And so for whatever reason, waterfowlers are a lot of the time aren't big on patterning their guns. They just say, get them in the decoys and you'll be fine. Doesn't matter. And I'm like, first of all, it's not that easy. You're not going to shoot over the decoys every single time. That's just, it's never going to happen. And I'm like, it's not that easy. But I was like, even then, like, even if all right, hey, you shoot it at 20 yards, and even if whether you drop him, or you he's still fluttering, or you miss, or you're transitioning, your next shot it's not going to be at the same distance. Those little
right. And
so now you're changing it. So you're not shooting at 20 yards. Now you're shooting a much faster moving bird. So waterfowlers a lot of the time haven't patterned their guns. Turkey hunters love to pattern their freaking guns. And so it's been bothering me for a long time. And I started to ask that question more and more. And it's like, well, with turkey hunting, you may only get the one chance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fair enough.
Which is similar to like archery, right? Like,
yeah,
exactly. So typically that bird is not going to be moving, and it's a little bit bigger target. Granted, most of that bird is not what you're trying to hit, but it's
closer.
It's not moving, and it's like, yes, that is your one chance. But I go the other way. I'm like, well, you're doing duck hunting. You're hopefully getting a lot more opportunities than one duck for the whole year. Why would you not want to hone that craft if you're doing it that often? So it's like, and you've probably done a lot more work. Typically, duck hunting is a lot more work for the average person than it is turkey hunting. At least in my mind, where I'm like, you typically got to get up earlier. You're wading through the marsh. You're taking a boat. You're setting up decoys. Like when I go turkey hunt, I drive to wherever I'm going. I get out and I walk to a spot. Yeah, there's more walking involved, but it's less work.
Mm-hmm.
I love turkey hunting. And then so somebody said the other day, it's like, well, yeah, typically you're shooting turkey, it's not moving. So like, yeah, it's still good to have a good pattern. Why would you not want to have a good pattern when you're trying to shoot a duck that's going 40, 50 miles an hour?
Right.
Like, that doesn't make any sense. I was like, honestly, I'd never really thought about it like that. Like, yeah, like it's a lot harder to do that than shoot a bird that's standing still. And I think some of it, like we talked about, is the cost. It's expensive to buy a bunch of different boxes of shells, but hell, freaking turkey hunters do it, and their stuff is a lot more expensive.
Yeah, no kidding. They're like, you shoot like, what? I don't even know. It's like 5 shell. What is it, Dad, for the tungsten 5 shells on average?
Yep.
Oh,
it's 5 shells a box.
How much?
60.
Yeah,
60 easy.
Yeah, because I saw those
60 on the cheap end.
I saw stuff going around social media, like when your buddy misses a turkey, and it was like, "Yo, you owe me $20."
Yeah, dude. Well, it's just like it really. I mean, don't we spend that same amount on a damn good arrow combination?
Yeah, I think the parallels between turkey and deer are very similar. And
yeah,
just you can draw it's almost like, to your point, Ryan, like duck hunting, it's like kind of like a neglect that has been out of just like pure laziness.
Yes, dude. I can't.
Well, laziness and then barrier of cost.
Well, I
think
it's mind blowing to me. This is what I'm sitting here recollecting on while you guys are talking is I mean, let's all face it. I mean, we can look back a long time of this sport. What? Just on the easy side, let's call it 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm just mind blown it's taken this long. Really, I mean, and I've always said this too, is that psychologically, and I've said this several times on the podcast, is that psychologically we lose sight of the importance of making an ethical kill with this smaller animal than we do. It impacts us psychologically deeper on a big game animal. It just does. And if the average person, whether you want to admit this or not, if you shoot and cripple a duck and it falls, you might feel bad about it, but I guarantee you, if you do that with an arrow on a deer and a gut shot, you're going to be sick about it. All right? Yep. Why don't we feel as sick about it? Why? Because it's not as big. It's not in front of our face. We're not following the blood. All that.
And also, like, the gravity of it is like the fact of the matter is, like, you always be like, oh, the next group or whatever with ducks. And,
there's plenty of them.
And I'm not like I'm just playing devil's advocate. Like, I think that's probably why, is because it's like, oh, there's always going to be the next group. And it's like with deer hunting, it's like, man, we've all been there where we've gone a week just to have that one opportunity. And then you're just like, you wound a deer and you're like, oh my God,
Right. But I'm just saying, it's weird how the mind approaches this,
Yeah.
And I think it's the same thing. What really got me on this whole topic in the first place was how it blows my mind how many waterfowlers don't eat what they kill. Yeah. All right. I mean, let's just say if you were going to be judged on YouTube, you'd be way higher judged for leaving an elk laying there than you would a duck. Mm-hmm. All right. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you're going to go to jail either way.
But I've always had these guys know that hunt with me. I'm like crazy. I mean, like my very first mallard I ever shot in Arkansas is actually one of the funniest damn things ever. I ran after that thing for like a quarter of a mile.
True story.
But it wasn't just to get the mallard, dude. I felt bad that I crippled the bird. We didn't have a dog with us, and I took off after that son of a bitch, and I got him. No, I love it, dude. I love what you guys are doing. Love it.
Oh, sorry. Anybody listening? We have a call right now, but I don't think I need to go into it.
Well, hey man, I think honestly, I think it's probably good on our end. It's about how long we run them anyway. So yeah. I think it's probably a good break, honestly. So if y'all got to get to that, I totally get it.
No, I just got a word from my captain. We don't depending on the call, we don't go to every call. It depends on the jurisdiction of kind of, or not jurisdiction, but where the call's at. So it's like we're a really small department. So there's only 4 of us on shift at a time.
I see.
We have 3 stations, 1, 2, and 3. And so like I'm at one of the outlying stations. So like station 2 and station 3 only have 1 guy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So station 1 has 2 guys. And so yeah, I'm out here by myself. Granted, it's only we're so small. I can be on the other side of town pretty quick. But it depends on the call. Like if there's anything, obviously anything fire related, like we're all obviously going to it.
Right.
But that just now was a lift assist. So our county does all of the medical calls. So sometimes sometimes they just ask for our help to get somebody either onto the stretcher or back into bed, or I mean, it could be a million different situations, but
so it's not a lift assist like of a drunk person trying to get in the lift car.
No.
Okay, you're like, dude, somebody get this guy in the effing car.
No. Typically, it's either an old person or a really large person.
Well, hopefully they're okay.
Well,
yeah, but thankfully most of the time they're just fine. It's just usually a very routine call.
Yeah. Well, I know one thing that I'm automatically looking forward to is getting off here, buying a couple boxes of y'all's stuff, and making a couple of YouTube videos. Because I mean, we do the whole YouTube video thing, and we've long kind of talked about like doing a patterning video on our guns, but it's just like such a pain in the ass to our whole point tonight.
Yes.
Such a pain in the
Great
ass
point,
to do
Tristan.
that. And I'm really looking forward to getting that and making video. You know, me and my dad will probably go out to our buddy Matt's and just post up and, figure out what works best with our gun and choke combinations. I'm looking forward to it.
You guys just gained 2 people to your 2 superheroes to your clan.
Yeah, 2 loyal buyers.
Yes.
I really, I can't tell you like how much I appreciate that.
No, we'll go out and do it.
Guys, after you guys shoot, as long as you're not changing your gun or your choke, you know that like that's your shell.
Yeah.
Never happen.
Dude, I would love to have that confidence, man.
Well, we're gonna.
I love it, man.
Yeah, we're gonna make it happen.
I want to have you guys on here tomorrow.
He's gonna find that shell combination, and just a single tear is gonna come out of his eye.
Dude, I am, dude. I am. And you know what the tear is for?
What?
It's for all the ducks that are getting ready to freaking die.
Hey, I mean, it's only, some teal season and early goose season, and a lot of part is only 2 months away.
Truth. Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. September.
Yeah, we gotta go out and shoot some ducks.
Yeah.
Yes.
We gotta go out and shoot some ducks, and not gonna lie, I may use you to try to kill a cinnamon teal. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
no, bro. I might.
I can tell you exactly where to go. There's no it's yeah.
No,
it's
dude. We definitely need to connect. And one thing we say with everybody that we talk to, this isn't just for Tristan and I, this isn't just like business. I mean, if you know most of the people that we talk to and frequent on this podcast, you guys will know that we have regular relationships with these folks, and we're proud of it. We love it. We use it as a vehicle to show people that, if you just take the focus off yourself and what you're trying to accomplish and just more worry about the relationships that you're going to make, this community is one of the tightest. It's tighter than the whitetail community. There's a lot of backstabbing in the whitetail community, bro. In the duck hunting community, it's Biden or Trump. And there's a lot of Trumps.
No, dude, because you said you're like 3 hours from Atlanta.
Something like that. I mean, it's really not crazy far.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to come duck hunting
Do
here.
you no.
I know.
But do you ever come through this area at all for anything? Because
Well, okay, I'm looking at it now. It's about 4 hours. So even then, not bad at all. The only time I really ever come through there is usually on my annual trip down to see Brody and go duck hunt down there. I mean, we went through it going to Nashville back in February, but I mean, hell, if I'm going duck hunting, that's full send. Like I used to drive to that refuge that I hunted a lot. I hunted. It was 3 hours away.
wow.
Just to the minute. And work, I would be packed up on Friday. As soon as Friday was off, I would go into the office, I would change, and I would drive the 3 hours, get there that night. I'd wake up, I would duck hunt. I would either limit out or I would hunt the whole freaking day, and then I would leave that night and drive the 3 hours back. And then I would hunt base the next morning.
Wow.
So
yeah, that's dedication right there.
Yeah, it is.
Nah.
I was getting it.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, at some point it'd be cool if we could ever link up and do a podcast in person,
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Well, that means we'd have to shoot ducks that morning and then go back and then do the podcast.
Well, if that's the case, we might want to do the podcast in the Mississippi Flyway instead of this flyway.
Oh man, dude. No, we so appreciate having you on tonight, and I can't wait to shake your hand and get to know this
Wish
other.
we were going to Delta, man.
Yeah, just tell Brody that he and I are the same, and we'll work together as a strong force of craziness.
I'll give you just a little insight on my dad real quick, Ryan, to kind of paint the picture of how he's similar to Brody.
Hold on.
You good? Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Oh,
There you
something
go.
just happened with our audio, but we're good now. So, he used to be so OCD about the duck spread that to the amount of, I mean, we would have a spread of this many blue wings, this many green wings, this many gadwall, this many, and it was that's
so perfection based.
So that's you remember the commercials that the cheesy commercials on infomercials that be HD vision military grade glasses. So one of our buddies that's actually a Marine at one point started calling my dad HD because he's so high def.
No. You're getting it wrong. You're getting it wrong. Here's how that happened. The story. So I see the infomercial. I'm up late all the time, and I keep seeing this guy tactic, military advancement. Use these glasses, and they will make you see better, and all this shit. And I'm like, this guy's got something. And I'm walking through Walmart on the way to a duck hunt, and I'm like, if I'm going to get an advantage, I'm going to gain it. So I'm like, bro, I'm buying it. And they're called HD Vision. And so he goes, what do you got there? And I'm like, this is my HD Vision shooting glasses. He goes, son of a bitch. Are you serious, dude? Are you serious right now?
Yeah, I'd never heard that part of it, but I believe it.
That's where it started.
That's so fair.
But man, dude, no, let's I can't wait next time. Let's stay in touch. Let's find out where we're hunting at, see if we can cross a path somewhere down the road. And you're always welcome, y'all. Just if you ever get down through here, hit us up. And if it's during the summer, we'll take you out Lake Lanier and have some fun.
That sounds like an absolute blast, and I cannot wait.
Sounds good, man. Tell everybody where they can get in touch with you guys at.
Yeah, so Facebook is Pattern Pros USA. Instagram is just Pattern Pros. And then our website is patternprosusa.com.
Perfect.
Love it.
All right, Ryan. Well, thank you for your time, man. And I'm going to turn around and post this tonight or tomorrow. So, it'll be right out, and I'll tag y'all and everything. So,
Sweet. Sounds good. And then Tristan, I actually texted you those patterns, or not quite patterns, but shots on paper.
Okay.
So you can see how bad they are.
Let's see here. Oh, yeah. No, I got them here. Oh, my. Look how bad that one is. He said that's the worst one. Oh, man. Oh, my gosh. That's funny, man.
Feel free to post that as well.
Sounds good.
And the importance of actually going out and doing it.
Sounds good, man. All right, brother. Well, I appreciate your time.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Take
All
care.
right. Bye-bye.
I've been southbound, I've been hellbound, riding on the midnight train. Going too fast now, think I'll slow down, standing in the pouring rain.